What is happening, J Gamer Dude here, and today the Game Awards nominees have been released, and so we're going to go through each category and just kind of take a pick as to what we've kind of got going on with not just who the nominees are, but who I would personally be voting for. Though I suppose it's not worth really voting when you think about the fact that like audience votes don't really matter all that much, but it is what it is, and it's an interesting system. So let's just kind of jump into this, what is essentially this entirely crack year of video games awards and the game awards essentially. So let's just kind of jump right into it. I'm going to start off with the big ones and work my way down, because the ones at the end are more so like best esports athlete, team, coach, event. Like I actually can't say I care too much about those things, so let's just kind of jump right into it with Game of the Year. The top prize on offer for us right now, and holy crap, what? Okay, I should probably point out I haven't actually seen the nominees for any of these categories, so everything that I'm about to see is actually a surprise as I'm recording this. So first and foremost, we do have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and this is for Game of the Year. God, this is I'm surprised that Marvel Spider-Man is here. It feels like it is the weakest game here, which is insane to think about that. Sony is more so known for their sort of massive single player games. Yes, it got a nod, but is it going to win? I don't actually think so. I'm personally going to be voting for Baldur's Gate 3, because that is the greatest game that I've played, with Resident Evil 4 being a very close second for me. I'm not much of a Nintendo boy, so already Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Tears of the Kingdom are both almost kind of automatically disqualified for me, personally, because I haven't played them and don't really have much interest in them. But I mean, for actually not one, but two horror games to be in the running, we are eating good as horror game fans. I absolutely do believe. But I haven't actually logged in, so I'll log in and cast my votes after the fact. But my vote would go for Baldur's Gate 3 for sure. It is too fun of a game. It is exceptional by any metric that I wish other games could meet, but obviously otherwise we wouldn't have, an exceptional level of gaming when it comes to Baldur's Gate 3. But yeah, let's go to the next category, which is Best Game Direction, and our nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I should probably point out I'm looking forward to the medley that's going to be happening for the Game of the Year, when Game of the Year is announced and awarded. It's going to be such a banger. But with that being said, is there another one? No, it's just those 5 games. Okay. Best Direction. Oof. That's a difficult one, because it's awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. And I feel like Alan Wake 2 deserves it. But I feel like it's mostly either going to go to... it'll either be Alan Wake 2 or Spider-Man 2. I can't... Direction, though? Normally, whoever wins Direction usually wins Game of the Year, so I think it might be safe to say it's Baldur's Gate 3, but again, it just depends. I'd vote Baldur's Gate, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So that, yeah, pretty much like the nominees here and in a Game of the Year are pretty much exactly the same, except for one extra edition that I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, Resident Evil 4 Remake is in here. That's the one. That's the one that's missing. So yeah, that's... Okay, Best Narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. And I'm shocked by one of the ones that's here, which is Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. This is a DLC being awarded Best Narrative, but beyond that we have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Final Fantasy 16. As far as story goes, I enjoyed Final Fantasy 16 story the most out of these games here, in saying that I haven't played Phantom Liberty, so I can't really speak to that one. So my personal vote will go to 16, but I don't think that 16 is actually genuinely going to take it. That feels like a bit of a stretch, to be completely honest. But that's where my vote would go. Best art direction, we have Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And honestly, this is gotta go to Hi-Fi Rush for me. That art style is just too good. Honestly, that's where my vote's gonna go. I hope it wins, but actually, you know what? No, wait. Lies of P is essentially Bloodborne Light. I could see myself voting for Lies of P instead of Hi-Fi Rush, but they're both very different types of aesthetics that do not match up against each other, and I can't tell who did their own aesthetic better between the two. So I'm just gonna vote Hi-Fi Rush because I feel like bombastic color and, you know, things aside, like if Bloodborne 2 were in this list, I would probably vote that because Lies of P is an exceptional Bloodborne clone, and that's the thing, it being a Bloodborne clone rather than it being Bloodborne 2. I feel like its aesthetic is just there, but it feels short compared to what Hi-Fi Rush does with its art style. But I digress, that's just my thoughts out there. Best score and music. Outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This has to go to 16, cause Masayoshi Soken deserves an award for this if he hasn't already won one. His work with music is exceptional, and 16 goes exceptionally hard. So that's where my vote's gonna go at the end of the day. I hope 16 gets it, because if there's something Final Fantasy series does exceptionally well, it's the music, it's the score, it's just all of the stuff put together. Next we have is Best Audio Design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. And sound design more so goes into like the small details of like what makes the world actually alive. For example, sound effects and things like that. For score, that's mostly to do with like composition of music and things like that. So we have Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil 4. My vote for this would be Hi-Fi Rush. Even though I really wanted to go to Dead Space, I'm surprised that it got nominated as much as it did to be on this, to be shortlisted here of all places. Just insane to think about. This year has been absolutely stacked. But Hi-Fi Rush is where my vote would go for this one. Next we have is Best Performance, awarded to an individual for voiceover, acting, motion, and or performance capture. We've got Ben Starr for FF16, he plays Clive. Cameron Monaghan for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Idris Elba. Imagine seeing his name here for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Melanie Liberd, Alan Wake 2. Neil Newborn, Baldur's Gate 3, and Yuri Lowenthal, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. God, this is a stacked category. As much as I want to say Idris Elba, I want to vote for FF16. I want to vote for Ben, because he did an exceptional job of bringing out Clive. Idris Elba would be a close second. I haven't played Jedi Survivor. This is too stacked. This is too stacked. Neil Newborn for Baldur's Gate 3. Yuri Lowenthal for Marvel Spider-Man 2. Like, it's... Okay. My top two would be Ben and Idris, but I wanna vote with my heart and say Ben Starr for FF16. So this is a stacked group though. This is insane. Innovation in accessibility, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. This is a category I don't think I can speak to whatsoever because I am not an accessibility person, or nor do I need accessibility much. But when I grow old and I become like the sort of decrepit old man holding on to their controller for dear life while trying to play a video game, eventually I am going to need it. So I just hope that, you know, it does actually get better over time. But the nominees for this is, weirdly enough, Diablo 4. I did not expect to see a Blizzard game at all in these awards. Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Street Fighter 6. If I were to vote based on things that I've heard from accessibility advocates, I think Street Fighter 6 might actually take this one, which I'm really hoping is the case because, again, it's a very good game that deserves some mention, but also it's made this particular fighting game so much more playable to so many more people, even though we do have all of the learnings around all of the Sony games, and so I could absolutely see Spider-Man 2 taking it. But yeah, if I were to vote, which I'm probably not going to, I'm probably gonna abstain from this one. Probably be Street Fighter 6 for me. Games for Impact, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message, we have A Space for the Unbound, Chants of Sennaar, Goodbye Volcano High, Chia, Terra Nil, and Venba. Ooh, Terra Nil, that looks like a nice game. I actually want to play that now. I haven't actually played it, so honestly, when it comes down to it, the games that I have played are Space for the Unbound, Chia, and Venba, and I wanted to go to Venba. It's such an interesting, because like if you're Indian and you've never been born or raised up in your own native country, like for sure, Venba is gonna speak very highly to you, especially with like food and sort of like parental dynamic and just kind of being sort of in that family. It's not any specific type of India, but just like any type really. So I feel like I would vote for Venba personally. Who knows which one will win, because I would also my close second would be Space for the Unbound. But yeah, that's interesting. Those were kind of my thoughts. Best ongoing game awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. We have Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. I want this to go to FF14 so very bloody hard, but I have not played FF14 this year. In fact, the game that I put the most amount of time into is Genshin Impact. So I've only played a little bit of Fortnite, not enough to really be able to consider, so I would vote Genshin just because I put so much time into it. But I really want FF14 to win. I could see a case for Cyberpunk 2077 to win because of its 2.0 update, exactly like how what was it? No Man's Sky won a time or two for this exact same thing. But I digress. Moving on from that, we have Best Community Support, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusion of social media activity, games, updates, and patches. And I can already tell you which one deserves to win from this list that I can see as I see the images at the bottom. So we've got Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Destiny, FF14, and I don't know what this last one is. Oh, it's No Man's Sky. Okay. I did not see that one coming. Destiny 2 is the one that deserves it the least. Absolutely, without a doubt. Baldur's Gate 3 is the one that deserves it the most. When it comes to community, FF14 comes close, but Baldur's Gate 3 was completely developed out of early access and has become an exceptional game that has been made out of exceptional circumstances. So that is where my vote's going to be, and as much as I want FF14 to win, I'm pretty sure Baldur's Gate 3 is going to take this one for sure. But yeah, and the next one is Best Independent Game. We have Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, Viewfinder. So this is for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game outside the traditional publisher system. My beef with one of these is Dave the Diver, which it absolutely does use the traditional, because the development studio is owned by a publisher, and so they are doing it within the normal publisher system. I have not actually played any of these games, but the one that I want to win the most would be Sea of Stars. I do have it, I just haven't started playing it, but I do hope Sea of Stars wins, just because it seems like the coolest game, even though Viewfinder is also a really cool game in terms of its perspective puzzle, and I hope that Dave the Diver doesn't, but you never know what happens. It's just because it's a weird position to be in. But yeah, so my vote would go for Sea of Stars, but I haven't played any other games, so I'm probably going to abstain from this one. Moving on from that though, we have Best Debut Indie Game. So we have, for the Best Debut Game created by a new independent studio, we have Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Vemba, Viewfinder. I mean, I would vote Vemba for this one. But yeah, Best Debut Indie Game. Best Indie Game is going to be very, very subjective to like what kind of game you like the most and what you would prefer the most. Okay. Best Mobile Game. For the best game playable on a mobile device, I know what I'm voting for already, but we have Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Honkai Star Rail, Monster Hunter Now, Terra Nil. Oh, Terra Nil is actually a mobile game. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going Star Rail. If the most amount of time I've spent playing games this year was Genshin Impact, the second highest was Star Rail. So, without a doubt, that would get my nod. Because it's also excellent to play on a phone, which is where I played majority of my time of this game, is just on a phone. So I hope that wins, and I hope that that's the one I'll be voting for. But we have Best VR and AR for the best game experience playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform. We have Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Humanity, Resident Evil Village VR mode, and Synapse. My money is going to Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo 7, in my opinion, is a okay to like so average in terms of an actual racing game that it's almost a bad game, except that if we didn't get Gran Turismo Sport, which is a genuinely bad Gran Turismo game, 7 would be the worst Gran Turismo game outside of Sport and probably Prologue, GT5 Prologue specifically. But with all of that said, GT7 was made so much more palatable by being able to play in VR, and it is exceptionally fun to play in VR. I can understand why Resident Evil Village might be the best in VR, but outside of VR it's okay. In VR it's much better, but like Gran Turismo 7 just kicks butt while in VR, without a doubt. So that's where my vote goes to, Gran Turismo 7 without a doubt. Best action game. For the best game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat, we have Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Remnant 2. My vote's gonna go for Ghost Runner 2. Even though I'm pretty sure Hi-Fi Rush is probably going to get most of the vote. If not that, then maybe Armored Core 6, but I really want Ghost Runner 2 to win. Such a fun game. So much fun. But again, this was a difficult one, only because, again, it feels pretty stacked because all of these games are pretty damn good. Dead Island 2 has... its gameplay is sort of less fun than pretty much all of these games, but that gore system is just chef's kiss, to be completely honest, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, moving on from that, we have Best Action Adventure. We have for the Best Action Adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. And this is going to be a very familiar list. Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is going to win this. I want Resident Evil 4 to win it, and that's what I'll be voting for. It's good to see 2 horror games in here, with Alan Wake 2 and Resident Evil 4. Carrying the genre forward, even though we did see Dead Space remake on this list on these lists as well. Best role-playing, this is going to hurt me so very much. For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences, they are counting MMORPGs. The games we have are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, Starfield. And one of these is not like the rest. Starfield does not deserve to be on this list. This list is so bloody stacked that Starfield is like the sore thumb that's sticking out. Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win this, and that's the one I'm going to vote for. As much as I want FF16 to win, it's out of its league as far as Baldur's Gate 3 is concerned. Best fighting game. God, what happened to this? This is a fascinating one. For the best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat, we have God of Rock, which I have not played, Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, Street Fighter 6. My vote goes for Street Fighter 6, and I'm pretty sure that's the one that's going to win. The only one that'll actually give it proper, a proper tussle is going to be Mortal Kombat 1, most likely, unless Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 can actually fumble its way through. That could very well happen as well. But yeah, my vote goes to Street Fighter 6. Best family game, so the best Nintendo game on the list, we have for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. So we have Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm pretty sure Super Mario Bros. Wonder is going to win. I'm going to vote Sonic Superstars. I'm going to vote where my heart is, Sonic Superstars. Even though I'm pretty sure it's not going to win. Best sim or strategy. Best game focused on real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. So we have here Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, City Skyline 2, Company of Heroes 3, Fire Emblem Engage, Pikmin 4. So as much as I want Advance Wars 1+2 to win this, it's not going to win. Because Company of Heroes 3 is probably going to take it. I could also see City Skylines 2, but it was released on as a broken mess. So it's either going to be Engage or Company of Heroes 3. My vote's going to go for 1+2 Reboot Camp because I love Advance Wars too much. As much as I did enjoy playing through Fire Emblem before, when I was little, Advance Wars has been a much better game as time has gone on, and even with this re-release or remake rather as well. What's the next strategy? So it's best sports/racing. For the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game, we have EA Sports FC 24, F1 23, Forza Motorsport, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, and the Crew Motorfest. As much as I'm not really a fan of it, Forza is probably going to win this unless EA Sports FC 24 comes out with the big guns, which will be interesting to see. I don't see the other ones winning all that much. Though if Hot Wheels comes around and, is like, causes an absolute upset, I'm all about that. But I'll be voting Forza for this one because it is an actual properly like quality game. Best multiplayer sponsored by Discord, huh? For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experience, irrespective of game, genre, or platform. So we have here Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Multiplayer game. Okay. Huh. This is a tough one. Baldur's Gate 3. I think, without a doubt, the most fun you can have is a bunch of people yelling at each other across a table while rolling dice. The absolute stupidity in the thought and idea behind what I just said is kind of what makes it feel so very genuine and so very genius at the same time. And that is the magic of tabletop role-playing games, I feel like, at the end of the day. It's because of all of the shenanigans that kind of just come out from there, but I digress. That's where my thoughts are. Best adaptation, recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. We have Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Twisted Metal. I haven't seen Castlevania Nocturne, but I could see that taking over this whole list altogether. Either that, The Last of Us, or Super Mario Bros. I can't imagine Gran Turismo or Twisted Metal is going to win this. And it's funny how like 3 of them are PlayStation related properties. I would vote for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but I haven't seen Castlevania Nocturne. That's probably the only reason why. And I haven't seen Gran Turismo either. Probably worth watching, but I would probably abstain from this completely because I would only vote for like stuff that I've seen and can actually judge on. But the one that's probably most likely to win it will be The Last of Us, unless Super Mario Bros. Can pull ahead. That would be the 2 main contenders, unless Nocturne is exceptional, in which case that will then overtake everyone. But that's just me theorizing on how this list will be handled or treated. This is an interesting one. Most anticipated game, recognizing an announced game that has demonstrated I can't English right now. That has demonstratively illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. So we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, or Yakuza 8, depending on what you want to call it, Star Wars Outlaws, which does not deserve to be on this list, and Tekken 8. Every game except Star Wars Outlaw I could see a case for. I'm personally going to vote FF7 Rebirth. Tekken 8 looks absolutely exceptional. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth looks absolutely exceptional. Hades 2 looks absolutely exceptional. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was the only one that dropped my trousers down. Even though Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth did the exact same thing. I'm yet to see enough of Tekken 8 to really jump into it. But for any fighting game fan, they'll be excited. FF7 Rebirth. That's the one that I'm going to be voting for, though. Personally. Hopefully that one wins, but you will never know until, the day rolls around. Content Creator of the Year. For a streamer or content creator who has made an important and positive impact on the community in 2023. So we have Iron Mouse, People Make Games, Quackity, Spreen, and Cypher PK, I guess. I'm not going to vote because I don't watch any of these guys, any of these peeps. Most likely Iron Mouse is probably going to win. I'd put money on that, unless it's Quackity. Quackity could also win it. I have not seen or heard of Spreen, Cypher PK either, and People Make Games. You guys do you, I guess, so I would absolutely abstain from this for just being someone who just does not watch any of these creators alone. Purely based on that alone is what I should have said. Best esports game, gonna skip that, but the options are Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, PUBG Mobile, Valorant. Definitely not gonna be voting on this one, because I have genuinely nothing to say about it. Best esports athlete, again, skipping this one because I have nothing to say about it, but we have Lee, Faker Sangyong, Matthew Zaiwu Herbo, Max Demon One Mazanov, so I should probably, say the game. So Faker is League of Legends, Zaiwu is CSGO, Max Demon One Mazanov is Valorant, Paco Hydra Crosswise is Call of Duty, Park Ruler Jae-hyun is League of Legends, and Philip Imperial Hal Dosen is Apex Legends. So yeah, just gonna pass through that. Best esports team, again, gonna skip that one completely because I have nothing to say about that. But we have Evil Geniuses Valorant, Fnatic Valorant, Gaming Gladiators Dota 2, JD Gaming League of Legends, Team Vitality Counter-Strike. And then we have, I think this is the last one, which is Best Esports Coach. Again, nothing to say because I have nothing to add. We have Christine Potterchi, Danny Zonic Sorensen, Jordan Gumba Graham, Remy Quotenham, and Yoon Sung Yong. I don't know if that's home or home, but it's esports coaches, man. And best esports event is the last one, I think. Yeah, that's the last one, which is recognizing an event across single or multiple days that delivers a best of class experience for participants and the broadcast audience. Again, don't really care too much, so I'm just going to quickly go through this. 2023 League of Legends World Championship, Blast TV Paris Major 2023, Evo 2023, which is probably the one I'd vote for because I like fighting games. The International Dota 2 Championships 2023, and Valorant Champions 2023. So those were the categories for the Game Awards and their nominations. Let me know what you guys thought about everything in the comments below. Like the video if you liked the presentation, or anything else in between. Subscribe to the channel because I'm aiming for 100 subs by the end of the year, and also I do want my videos to go out to more people, specifically more people who are also interested in stuff like the Game Awards as well. And with all that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.